Cassie. Cassie's style is by far the most basic. Between Kat's provocative red in season 1 and Maddie's confident purple, Cassie sticks to the same simple colours: blue, pink and white. Blue is notoriously the colour of sadness, pink is for femininity and white is for purity. This video will be different from my videos on Maddie or Jules because even though Cassie goes through several traumatic experiences, her clothes reflect her lack of self-reflection and learning from those experiences. Her outfits are made to fit the girl next door archetype, a fantasy of a simple, pretty, golden-hearted girl, especially in season 1. In season 2, her outfits become more chaotic and provocative, but they are almost all adaptations of Nate's fantasies, which will make sense at the end of this video. My analysis is therefore more like the Freudian analysis of trope anatomy, which I recommend watching after this one. To better understand Cassie, it's important to establish her profile.
Yes, fuck it, I am in love with me, Jacob, and he is in love with me, and you know you fucking give me that look, Maddie, because I didn't fuck your boyfriend. You two were broken up for 3 weeks and 3 days before we even had sex, so I didn't betray you. Plus, you guys are terrible for each other, and you know I'm right, and you guys can all judge me if you want, but I do not care. I have never, ever been happier.
Cassie has a little sister, Lexi, a potentially alcoholic mother, Suze, and a father, Gus. From a young age, her mother and father argued. According to her mother, it was because
Your father had some serious jealousy issues.
But Cassie learns that her mother cheated on her father. This makes Cassie resent her for a while, but she realises that in the end her father wasn't perfect either. Figure skating is her passion. She is encouraged by her father until he can no longer afford the lessons. I'll come back to this later. But this love for this art is one of the only things that truly belongs to her. When Cassie was around 14, her parents separated. Her father would visit them once a week, then little by little, once a month. And then he stopped calling. This abandonment creates daddy issues for her. Daddy issues. The need for a father figure is natural and necessary for every human being. As a child, you need a figure who protects you, who knows how to be tough when justified and gentle at other times. This paternal figure can be embodied by a woman. There are single mothers who manage to create both a maternal and paternal figure at the same time, or lesbian couples who can establish a paternal and a maternal parent. Hollywood has fetishized this trope many times. I won't get too much into it, but you can get how and why on this video right here. We can understand that she is an eternal optimist in love, much like Serena in Gossip Girl. She holds on to hope in love as if it were the ultimate goal of her life. She dated several boys in high school, which earned her a reputation as an easy girl, not to mention the private videos published by her exes after their breakups. Inevitably, Cassie knew this would happen. But then why? And where is the problem that creates all of this? Cassie gives herself to her partners without restraint, granting them total trust even when they don't necessarily deserve it. Her search for love overrides her self-worth. It doesn't matter if these videos are published because subconsciously she has loved someone who will not love her back. Every boyfriend she had during the 2 seasons clearly shows they are not ready to be seen with her because of her reputation, that she is just filling a void, or that she is nothing more than a sexual object. To get back to her outfits, they are a representation of all this. Her blue, the colour of sadness and loyalty, trust, is representative of her constant state, which never changes because her self-questioning leads nowhere. In comparison, her sister Lexi, the more introverted of the two, has a colour palette that varies from black to yellow and green, because even if she isn't as popular or outgoing as her sister, Lexi's self-confidence and inner world are, in fact, complex. Their styles contrast. Cassie wears more daring and revealing clothes, whereas Lexi, seeing the effects of the sexualization her sister has experienced, prefers to be valued for her personality. Pink is the colour of femininity. Cassie is by far the most stereotypically feminine character in all of Euphoria. Her approach to femininity is defined by what men might find attractive. This, once again, clearly differentiates her from Maddie or Jules. Jules has the same approach at the beginning of season 1, also sticking to shades of blue while having literally pink hair. But as the season progresses, Jules questions this performed femininity meant to attract a man, and Maddie, although she also starts season 1 in pink, uses that outfit in a manipulative way. She wants to get Nate's attention. Maddie's femininity is not defined by a man, but by herself. And white is obviously the colour of purity. Cassie sees herself as innocent and a victim of her circumstances, which, in a sense, is true. That was also my view of her in season 1. But then we get to season 2 and everything intensifies. Season 2. In season 2, Cassie shows us that her intention to stay single after the winter formal is no longer relevant. The episode begins with her, alone and sad, in a gas station parking lot. And that's where she meets Nate. Even though Cassie knows Nate is one of the people who made fun of her, when he offers her a ride to the New Year's Eve party, she says yes. When he speeds up, drunk, instead of telling him she feels unsafe, she plays along. Her intention to be alone for a while came from a good place, but Cassie is not ready to confront the loneliness she has always tried to fill.
When have you ever been single?
So even when Nate shows up, she sees a Prince Charming who can save her. This changes the narrative from season 1, where she was a victim. By stealing her best friend Maddie's boyfriend, we see that her inability to make decisions is no longer defensible. She goes through a series of costumes to get Nate's attention because at this point, he doesn't want her anymore. And for Cassie, this means doubling down her efforts, even changing herself more and more to finally be loved. Of all the seasons, her most intense look is from her ice skating dream during her abortion. Her outfit is still blue, but her makeup is much more pronounced than usual, and rhinestones cover her body. Season 3. Season 3 isn't out yet, but we've seen photos of Cassie in a wedding dress. I don't think she's marrying Nate. Considering she was also seen having a conversation with Maddie, I doubt Maddie would be talking to her former best friend if she had married her ex. My interpretation is that Cassie is married to someone else. She's an eternal romantic, as we've seen. So, it would seem logical that in the 5 years between seasons 2 and 3, she would have had time to meet someone else and already see herself spending her life with them. And about Nate and Cassie, I don't think they've stayed together long after high school. So I see her staying consistent to who she is by being married at 23, and hopefully she is ice skating again. But Sydney Sweeney said 2 things that seem contradictory to me. She said that
Everyone's favorite version of Cassie is coming back.
And on Jimmy Fallon's show,
She's even worse.
Really?
which is definitely not the Cassie we love. So, does Sydney think we like seeing Cassie be the villain? Tell me what you think in the comments. I'm genuinely curious.